Falcha, you are very welcome to this, the first in the series of Mind Your Precious Self talks, one of our free events that I am honored to offer as part of all of the chaos that's going on in our world at the moment. My name is Dr. Karen Ward, and I'm a doctor of philosophy. And that philosophy combines counseling psychotherapy with an earth-based spirituality, with a holistic way of being, mind, body, and soul together. And in this day and age where there is so much going on in the world, do we need a little bit of comfort? Absolutely. And I'm privileged to offer you a few moments to reflect on where we are within this. At the moment, we're at a time of year where there's a lot of busyness and we're coming out of one season and into another. And that on its own can create a little bit of chaotic events around us. There's movement, there's change. And of course, as you know, we humans are not so good at change, and yet it's inevitable. What is it they say? The two things in life that are inevitable are taxes and change. How can we embrace this, particularly in a time that would be seen as chaotic? Well, let's break this into two. We're going to look at what chaos is, and it can mean different things for different people. We're going to look at what comfort is and what comfort may mean for different people. And then we're going to weave that together to find the comfort for you within whatever chaos is going on around you that is healthy, that is forward moving, and that is nourishing at soul level. Chaos. What does that mean? I'm smiling to myself because once upon a time, I had a roommate and her wardrobe was the floor, shall we say. I am one of those life's neat people and very practically orientated, and everything had its place within my half of the wardrobe. And I found living with this wonderful woman, I was living in chaos. I didn't even want to look over at the room. I'd open the door and, oh. Now, to many people, you're probably laughing, going, oh, I'm the one with the wardrobe on the floor, or really? I wouldn't have even noticed. But this is what I'm using to describe what can be chaos for somebody can be absolutely normal for another. If I go to, when we can, if I go to a gig and it's loud and it's noisy and there's loads of people around, I would revel in these festivals that we go to, their sense of vibrancy, the energy around the place, there was momentum, dynamism. And yet I know people, and that the chaos there would be absolute sheer terror, absolute, they'd hate it, not for them. What does it say? Jack Sprat could eat no meat, his wife could eat no lean, but between of them, they licked the plate clean. One liked one thing, one liked the other, and together they were the ideal pair. And so it can be. Personally, I love wintertime. I love the winter light. I love the smells. I love the bareness, everything pared back. And I know people that dread. And there might be even a little bit of the seasonal activated disorder that we know about. It's not a good time. It's too dark. I invite you now to take a moment and think, what for you is chaos? There were many who were following the political events around the world, especially in the last few weeks avidly, and they were finding there was chaos in that. There was frightening thoughts, anxious thoughts, even a little bit scary feelings. Others got the highlights on the radio and that was it. Yeah, look, it's in a different country. It's not to do with us. It'll be fine. They'll resolve it. They'll sort it out. Again, chaos can be something that we see externally, like the wardrobe on the floor. We hear through the news and the radio. But chaos in our mind is the worst chaos, because it's known to us and to us uniquely. Nobody else can be privy to hop inside your mind. And sometimes, in the most beautiful, warm, sunny summer's day, we're in a park, a beach, a garden, and everything seems so fantastic. And in our minds, we're regurgitating old negative thoughts, ruminating, living with this chaotic sense of disorder, what's going on in our minds. That is something that we really need to look into. And comfort can lead a huge way to gently retraining our minds to acknowledge the thought, be aware of it, and then let it go. Or acknowledge the thought, make a plan to what you can do about it, and then let it go. I know people who spend a lot of time, they're Irish, surprise, surprise, and they are constantly thinking about the weather. Oh my gosh, it looks like it might rain. Will I take an umbrella? Will I don't? I'll get wet. Will I bring a raincoat? Well, it's only rain. It's okay. Always have a small umbrella in your bag. That's it. Or one of those roly-poly poncho raincoats. And then go out and enjoy being outside. Sometimes the chaos in our minds can be to do with others. Will so-and-so get the exam? What about, you get the idea. Comfort will counteract the chaos. But being aware of what chaos means to us goes a long way to fitting it with the right comfort. So we move over now to what actually is comfort. Well, comfort is feelings of ease, it's like a warm, big, cuddly sigh. It's like a warm hug that we so yearn for. It's ease, it's gentle, it's nourishing, it's heartwarming, it's soul stirring. It's easy, it's simple. Now, there are different types of comfort. And again, what might be comfort to you might not be comfort to me, and vice versa. How can we find out what suits you and what doesn't? Well, think of your day. Actually, think of your weekend. That's a pretty good one. And think, what did you do over the weekend? Because most of us, if we do work, or if you're a homemaker, you're probably on 24/7. But usually over the weekend, there's time out, a break. If I thought of the weekend I had, well, on Friday, it was there was a birthday celebration in our home, and we did a click and collect fancy posh meal. And there was an element of, will it be any different to a regular takeaway, or is it worth it? Or should we just wait until we can go to the restaurant? You get the idea. It was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I gave Rollies a name check. And there was just a sense of eating this restaurant cooked food that was different. We had candles, we turned the lights down, there was a bit of a laugh, there was great chat. There was comfort in the nourishment of the food, which was really good Irish produce. And there was comfort in the candlelight, the sense of something different at home. And of course, it was a celebration. I have to confess, there was a few bevies in there too. Saturday, I did my yoga class online. Not the ideal, but again, oh gosh, will I get up to do this? Yes, I will. And that lovely comfort in the stretch of the body and that wonderful relaxation at the end, feeling I've earned this. And those of you who are into sport know that after your run, the game of tennis, the cycle, the game of football, whatever it might be, there's that lovely sense of ease around the muscles, the body. This kind of, yes, self-gratitude almost. Some of you, like me, might be big bath fans. Oh yes, nothing like soaking in a warm bath with all of the smellies and the bubbles and the aromatherapy and the back candles. Or you might be a power shower person where you just love the water cascading down on you. And again, there might be some lovely smells that you would use in that. Whatever it is, comfort comes in many guises. It can be physical, what you eat, what you drink, what you feel over your body. Maybe it's creams, lotions, potions. Maybe it's getting your hair done when you can. But it can easily be auditory, beautiful music, Lyric FM on the radio. Maybe it's listening to a concert or a gig or a particular type of music that really sustains you. And perhaps even depending on the emotion evoked by the chaos, the music can counteract that. I know a chap who plays heavy rock on the way home from work in the car, windows rolled up, and he's blaring out the music, and he's rah, 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 and he's just letting go any chaos from work ebb away as he comes into his home environment. And he happens to work within 5K of home. You're getting the idea. Now, some types of relaxation, which come under the remit of our comfort, are active, and some are what are called passive. Let me give you an idea. A passive relaxation would be where you hand yourself over to the massage therapist or the hairdresser or some form of therapy, say the bath, and you just literally close your eyes and somebody does your hair, somebody massages you, or the water does the bath or shower. Active relaxation is where you are doing something. You're cycling, you're walking, you're gardening, you're cooking. There's an activity involved, but it's soothing. It's giving you comfort. Is one better than the other? No, it depends on the person. I like active relaxation initially because I'm quite a doer. I'm a Capricorn. We're very practical. I like to do things, and that would involve, it might be going for a cycle up the park, doing the yoga, and then I'm ready for the passive yoga nidra where I lie down and they say wonderful soothing words and I zone out. Or I climb into the bath. You get the idea. So just as chaos can mean different things from different people, comfort can mean different things. Now you're probably smiling to yourself and wondering, when is she going to mention this? Well, here we go now. There are comforts that, shall we say, are not the most healthy. Will I mention the chocolate word? It could be the bottle of wine when 1 or 2 glasses would have been enough. And this is where we need to be mindful that if the chaos gets too much, the comfort might tip over into something that would not be the healthiest for us. In other words, we finish a difficult period and maybe we've eaten so much, we've put on weight, and that in itself is an issue. Or perhaps we've smoked more, if you get the idea. If you can find a comfort that's a healthy comfort, it's a huge bonus, because that in itself will counteract the chaos. Whereas, unfortunately, the unhealthy comforts, as in eating lots of food that's not good for your digestive system, that maybe is fatty or is not agreeing with you, will, if anything, exacerbate the chaos. You might be the type of person that loves your coffee routine in the morning, and you have all your gizmos and you make it, and the smell and this, and you really savor it. But in a time of chaos, if you're having 7, 8, 9 cups of coffee a day, particularly late at night, it is going to affect your sleep. And sleep deprivation is one of the worst tortures in the world and will certainly exacerbate a chaotic situation. However, let me add that if in a temporary chaotic situation, you do succumb to the so-called junk food or the chocolate or the bottle of wine, it's not the end of the world. Comfort comes in many forms. And if that's the best you can do in the circumstances, that's okay, as long as it's temporary. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm suggesting that you all run out and get loads of chocolate and wine and whatever, but you know what I mean? It is about balance, and it's about recognizing the situation that we're in. I remember talking to one mother who was literally ripping her hair out with stress over her teenager who wasn't doing their homework and was smoking up the back of the garden. And I said to her, why would you think your teenager is smoking down the back of the garden? Oh gosh, the whole leaving cert thing and what's happening and what's not happening, and very stressed. And I said, well, look, smoking's not a great habit, but you know, this is not the end of the world. He could be doing a lot worse. He could be in the pits of depression, not getting out of the bed. He could be doing serious drugs. He could be, sometimes we need to give the person who is doing chaotic things or who is choosing maybe not the comforts we would choose, give them a little break and think, this is temporary. And maybe ask them what they need. And in that case, it certainly worked. It was a temporary thing. And that particular young man realized that he wanted to be on the football team. Maybe smoking wasn't the best thing. You get the idea. And this is where I hand over to you. If you have any questions, some of you might be watching this recording on the YouTube channel, and I hope you are. But I'd love to make this as interactive as it can be. In other words, if there are subjects that you'd like me to cover, I would be only too thrilled. But you've probably seen up on the website that there are topics that are dear to my heart that I have suggested that I'll offer. And some of them might resonate with you completely, and others might be, oh, not sure about that, but let me see how it is. I think the more we have these conversations, the more we talk about what's going on up here and how we can bring ease and comfort to our bodies, our minds, and our souls. Then we live in a very different world. And from that different world, we have an opportunity to change, to make things as best as they can be, and to understand each other and how we are in the world we live today. Mille buíochas, 1,000 thanks. And I really am delighted that you came to share with me this evening. I'm always available on KarenWardTherapist@gmail.com, and of course via the drkarenwardtherapist.ie website, and on Insta and on Facebook, all of the usual. But this is a dream come true for me, and it does bring me comfort in the chaotic world that we live in. The ability to harness my humble experience as an Irish Dublin woman and to share with you. And if that brings even a modicum of comfort to your world, well, then it will have been well worthwhile. Until the next time, slán go fóill.